Okay, we are live, and it is quite dark here in the room. But that's just how it is. I hope you're okay with that. Um, I will get everything sorted with the light and so on in an upcoming live stream. But we're going to talk about the Trump verdict, or rather, I would say what that means for a democracy. I am going to also get into these definitions a little bit, but let's just give it a few seconds um, before we start. Um, Let me just say also that I wrote in a comment in the chat there, remember to act like an adult, which seems to be a little bit difficult for some people. We live in the age of the eternally offended on both sides, all sides, I would say, but that's a different topic, I guess. So, hello, everyone. Good to see you all. I actually did a live stream yesterday, I believe. So yeah, I'm back already, all of a sudden, and all that. So yeah, I guess most of you know that, as expected, Trump was convicted. Now he got a sentence, and he was found guilty on all charges. And to be honest with you, I haven't paid much attention to the details in that court case. And the reason for that is that I don't find it interesting at all. This is, well, let me put it this way. Trump is a dirty old man. And and I mean, someone like that, he's been around, and I don't think he's like a good human being. I do not think that. And it's some people have a very hard time when I first say that. And I also say that if I had to choose between him and Biden, of course I would vote for Trump. While at the same time saying that I do not think that Trump is a very good human being. Um, and so, yeah, I'm not a Trump fan, but I'm also a realist. And I think that if you have a clear mind, you can see what's going on. This court case, and it is one of many charges. I mean, these people have been trying to get him convicted and preferably put into jail for a long time, for years now. And it was only a matter of time before they got everything tweaked just the right way so that they could get a verdict. Okay. So that's why I don't find it interesting to look at the court case, this one. I mean, if it wasn't this one, if they didn't succeed with this one, they would just have dug up some other dirt and used that. And they would have kept going until they got what they wanted, which they did now, finally. So we're not going to talk about the charges and this court case in itself. We're going to talk about what this means for a democracy. And now, let me put it this way. The USA is a democracy. And I'll just wait for a few seconds while all the trolls are writing as they are listening to this on replay. No, the USA is not a democracy, it's a republic. Listen. Yes, we understand what a republic is. The USA is one of many republics here on this globe. um, We are talking about the process. When you have a system where the people can go and vote for the people they want to be in some kind of another group of people who will then vote over things like laws and decisions and so on. And when you have basically the right to vote, you have a democracy. Okay, and then have a constitution, right? As we do here in Norway. Um, as we do here in Norway. It's not special about USA to have a constitution. Okay, so we're talking about, when I say democracy, we are talking about the democratic process, which ideally should work like this. You go and vote for some people that you either like or you think are suited for these positions of power for a limited period of time. That's the process, okay? A democracy is a place where you have a democratic process. So that's out of the way. For that to work, things need to be somewhat fair. And if you can, let's say, if you have an opponent that you think might win, and then you use the legal system to get him convicted and then out of the game, so to speak, then you're destroying the democratic process. Okay. Now we could say that, well, Trump is guilty. I don't know. But the main thing here to remember is that, well, he might have been doing bad stuff. Okay. But look at his opponent, the Biden family, or rather the system propping up that old man, Biden, you know, dressing him up and putting him in front of people. The Biden family is extremely corrupt. Anyone who has not been spending years now under a rock or something, or deep inside a cave, they should know that the Biden family is highly corrupt. Just look at their involvement in Ukraine before the war. That's a rabbit hole. You could go down that rabbit hole, and it's not pretty what you find there. These are people, I'm talking about the Biden family and the system around them. They are people with no morals. They are greedy, horrible people. Are they there being charged with, corruption and so on? No, of course not. Of course not, because they're part of the system. The problem with Trump, the way they see it, is that, when Trump won, something happened that these people didn't expect, and it delayed their plans. Okay. Another thing to remember now is that if Trump wins, no, let me use some other phrases. If Trump becomes president, because I don't think I think the democratic process is broken in the USA, and I think that the voting system in itself is fraudulent. And you'll have to excuse me if I use the wrong words. It's very early here for me. But if Trump should get into power again, the war in Ukraine will end, because then the USA will not be sending weapons to Ukraine. And that's a different topic, you could say, but it's such an important thing for the system, let's just say the system, to keep that war going. war, sadly, it's lost. I mean, Ukraine lost. Um, and you can pretty much look at the map now, and where Russia has drawn the border, I believe that's pretty much where it's going to be. And we may not like that, but the alternative is to get thousands upon thousands of more people killed, and the border will still be there. So we could end the war now, which would happen if Trump became president again, and save lives that way. I'm not going to get into the other parts of all that. The military strategy and so on. It's a different discussion. But this is one of many things that these people, let's just call it the system, they do not want that to happen. Okay. Now, what happens when the population as a whole realizes that the system can just use the legal system and get people convicted when they do not want those people to run for president? People lose faith in democracy. They lose faith in their country. They lose faith in their, let's just call them leaders. And I predict that if Trump is convicted now, well, he was convicted, but it will keep going in the legal system for some time. And if it ends with a verdict that they can't really do anything about, less people will vote, for instance. Now, let's walk back a couple of steps there. It could go the other way, and it would then go in favor of Trump. People might actually run to vote, and to support Trump, because they will see him as a victim. I do not see Trump as a victim. I think he is someone who. Okay, let me. I don't see. That's better. Yeah, I forgot to put my glasses on. Okay. Because I'll get to the chat. Yeah, the establishment, the swamp. I mean, they hate Trump because Trump is calling them out. And it's not only the swamp and the establishment in the USA, it's also here in Norway. It's been they have conditioned people to think that Trump is a very bad man. And well, yeah, they've been conditioned to believe that, and they don't even think for themselves anymore. It's like, I mean, Trump's personality, it's like it's difficult to like him. It's difficult to like him, I would say, especially for someone outside of the USA. I mean, in Norway, we view him as very immature, childish, and so on and so on. There are some cultural differences there. His ego it's just ridiculous. But going from that to then supporting the Biden family, I mean, one thing should not lead to the other there, if you know what I mean. Okay. I'll I'll get to the chat now because it's important that I shouldn't just sit here and talk. We should have a discussion about this. And you'll have to excuse me because I'm sitting here in Norway and I'm trying to be informed about what's going on, but it's like I've been 3 times in the USA, but I've only been to New York and Los Angeles and up north in California. So, I mean, my knowledge of the USA is limited. So, I'm of course not an expert on the topic. Um, another thing is that will there be riots? If Trump should become president, there will certainly be riots. They will burn down cities. Of course they will. But if he is, let's say Trump is put in jail, will there be riots? I don't know. Let's see here. Yeah, Corey, isn't that funny? Banana Republic, and they can see Mexico. Arrogance, yeah, absolutely. No, I can't read the chat as I'm talking all the time. Then that's difficult for me. Let's see here. I'll just scroll up a little bit. And I wrote it in the first commentary in the chat, which my comment there that try to behave like adults. You guys, I mean, if you're part of this wonderful community, of course, there are never any problems with you guys, but new people sometimes come here and they don't behave themselves. So let's see here. Let's see here. Well, thank you there, Mr. Goodman. Thank you. I think a voice of reason, it's about asking questions, right? And a lot of people, they claim to know the truth. There's even a niche on YouTube now. They're calling truthers because they're telling the truth. I mean, I'm not claiming to tell the truth. What is the truth? It's a big word, but we can try to ask the right questions, So, Ecurisona says it's gonna get real ugly. Yeah. Yeah, KP Heathen, thank you. Yes, it would be wonderful. Anyone listening, if they subscribe, like, and so on. And I'm always a little bit wary about saying share because some people, they download the video or the live stream and they upload it on their own channel. That's stealing. It's not nice. Don't do that. But there's a share button, so you can share the link to this live stream and my other videos, of course. Let's see. Luigi, is that the right pronunciation? I am glad to hear that my videos helped you. Absolutely. Sorry, I didn't see your comment up there in the chat. And I'm also going to be What I do here is, you know, we have had a problem with people coming here just writing Bible quotes, and I'm not kidding. It's been 10, 20, 30 comments like that, and then people go all crazy. They swarm the chat. Don't do that. I mean, unless we are discussing the Bible or something, don't do that. It's no. I don't care what religion you are connected to, but don't do that. It's going to get you kicked out of the chat. Okay. So that's just how it is. We have learned, and that's how we need to do it. So let's see. Let's try to stick to the topic. What happens if you get 4 more years with Biden? I think that's an interesting question, because first of all, he is a very old man, and I don't think that I mean, there seems to be some dementia going on there. Um, and I don't think he's really the one in charge. Well, it's obvious, isn't it? But what's going to happen what if he dies? I mean, um, seems to be. I'm trying to be with my words here. I'm not a doctor, so but it seems obvious that he's not really present. Let's just put it that way. Um, so, I mean, what will happen? I think Biden as president will mean that they will keep the war going in Ukraine. That's one thing. And I think that the deconstruction of America will continue. And by that, I mean the deconstruction of the family unit, the economy, and so on and so on. All these social and economic institutions that you need in a country for the country to be successful and for the country to be a good place to live in, you know. So I mean, it will be horrible if you get 4 more years of the Biden, the Biden, the Bidens. And I honestly don't know who is really running the show. Probably not even the ones connected, like, that you know of. There are probably people there that you don't see. So I don't know. Yeah, what happens to the world if Biden gets in again? Well, in a strange and cruel way, you could say there is if they keep the war going in Ukraine, which they will do, then it could actually be a sort of a stable situation if you think about it. They will just send people in there to be killed. I mean, we're talking about it like it's a horrible thing, but that's what they will do. They will send more and more people in there to be killed. And they will keep it going like that. And what the danger lies in the gradual, what's the English word? The gradual increase of reach of these rockets, not rockets, but these the flying things with bombs that they send into the enemy territory. The gradual increase in what they do and how far away they do it. Drones, yeah, of course. Drones, and also the what they use. Well, you know what I mean. Missiles, yes, thank you. Drones and missiles. So they will gradually increase the reach of those. And I think that if Biden is elected, the war keeps going in Ukraine. I think it's only a matter of time before they officially have soldiers from NATO, the USA, on the ground in Ukraine fighting Russians. Of course, that is already happening probably, but it's this gradual increase of the conflict that I worry about, because I think lately I've started to think that it's not, World War III might not start like all of a sudden. It might become something that it happens so gradually that we get used to it. So the economies will be destroyed, more and more restrictions in your country, more and more threat from the enemy, which would then be Russia and Russia's allies. And then all of a sudden you wake up one day and you realize that, well, we are actually now in World War III, and we've been in World War III for a while. What else would you call it when they are sending your sons and daughters to be killed on the ground, fighting the enemy? I'm using the enemy, I don't see Russians as enemies. I need to, make that very clear. But that's what our, the system, the establishment will call them. So this gradual increase is what I'm worried about. And we need to stop that. It must not happen. And I think that if Trump becomes president, I think it's very unlikely that that will happen, because they will use every tool in their corruption toolbox to make that not happen. But if Trump becomes president, the war would end, and we would probably not have World War III. I hope what I'm saying here is not just gibberish, that I'm sort of making sense to you guys. As I said, I'm not an expert. I'm not going to pretend I'm an expert on these topics at all, but I'm trying to ask questions and share my opinion. Now, I am keeping an eye on the chat. So, yeah. Well, thank you, Donna. And Leona, thanks a lot. Yeah, well, Kingdoms and Kobolds says we got autonomous manta ray styled submarine drones now. Yeah, well, you also have the thing with AI, and if you connect that, of course, with warfare, which they do, I think is a main motivation between AI. AI is about collecting information about people and everything, and they feed that into the systems there. And I think it's a World War III will be an AI war, and that's a horrible thing to if you imagine what that could mean. it could mean a forever war because AI will become autonomous, and AI will then see war as the goal, not peace or the end of a war. If that makes sense, you know. So yeah, I wish people would realize this. You know, people that, oh, AI is so wonderful, it's so fun, it's, you know, now it could mean the end of humanity. You know, and yeah, that's a different topic altogether. I have talked about it on my main channel, and you know, I get comments like, "Oh, it's just a tool. It's just a tool like any other tool." No, it really isn't. You know, so yeah. Let's see here. Um, Yeah, of course, no, yes, you're saying that Russia has hypersonic missiles that reportedly can reach the US. Yeah, well, the US is very, very, very close to Russia. I mean, if you go up to Alaska, I'm not going to say you can look across over to Russia, but it is close. I mean, it's very close. Um, and they don't need hypersonic missiles. They could just send a rocket across the Bering Strait. Is that what you call it in English? Hopefully. Yeah, Alaska was Abe was Russian, of course, but they could easily attack Alaska and blow up some cities there. Um, and Delaware. My guess is that Delaware will be somewhat safe because it's the home state of the Biden family. It's also a tax haven. So lots of these, as far as I understand lots of these fine politicians you have over there, that's where their home address is, Delaware. Yeah, I think it's Delaware. Yeah. Yeah, Cora, yes, you're writing there. I didn't know this, but I know that, of course, Russia has submarines. I'll tell you a funny story about that. But um, now, Russians is a problem because they always get it wrong because of my accent. I'm sorry. Um, Cora says Russia has Boray class submarines with nuclear warheads. They don't need to launch it from Alaska. So, KP Heathen, I'm doing great, thank you. This day will be wonderful. I have a friend visiting with his wife from the Netherlands today, actually. So later today, we're going to do some archery and having a lot of fun. Yeah, the submarines. When I was a kid, you know, what happened was that suddenly, and I think it was in Sweden, this happened, and in a Swedish fjord, a Russian or Soviet, back then, you know, it was the Soviet Union, a Soviet submarine just surfaced, and they they had messed up the navigation. And Russia, you know, they or the Soviet Union, they were claiming that no, we are respecting your waters. We do not have any submarines in your waters. And then suddenly this Russian uh, submarine captain, he was opening the hatch, you know, looking out. Oh, Sweden, sorry. But yeah, you know, um, I yeah, I am sorry if you can't hear. You know, I'm really sorry. I wish that I could turn on, captions and so on. It's going to be ridiculous, but yeah. But anyway, there are Russian submarines outside the coast, probably as we speak. I live by the coast, and I don't like that, because what could happen is that they have an accident. All of a sudden, you have a nuclear bomb, pretty much, just out in the fjord. You know. Fatem Dara, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Thank you. Good to see you here. And thumbs up. Thank you. Yeah, I'll make a note concerning the captions. I have a contact at YouTube, and I will ask him how to sort that out. We can try, we can try. Let's see here. Just hold on, I'll make a note. Okay, I made a note now. So, yeah. Okay, now this is now the part of the live stream where we can talk about pretty much anything. So, let's do that. I value these conversations that we have, and let's see here. Kingdoms on Kobolds. No, my website does not have a chat forum. I'm sorry about that. Many years ago, I had, but what happened was that it was just so much spam, and it took a lot of work to keep it. No, I can't, because it takes too much time to maintain it. So, let's see here. DO5E, can you stop the thing you're doing there? It tends to get us into trouble. It tends to get you into trouble. Okay, it has nothing to do with anything. So please stop. I'm being polite now. Next time I will not be. Okay. So let's see here. If you have any questions or topics, let's see here. Yeah, Jerry Jensen. So far, the only nuclear weapons ever used were used by the US. Yes, isn't that interesting? Wolf Odin, thank you for saying that. I liked when you highlighted some comments on your screen. Yes, I liked that too, but I do not use StreamYard or whatever it's called anymore, for different reasons. So let's see. I can see if YouTube is constantly let's see here. No, I can't do that. So yeah, there isn't that much money in YouTube anymore. So I try to have less costs connected to it. Cherokee Twilight says, let's discuss the Bible and fulfillment of prophecies. We are certainly not going to do that. Certainly not. It's not a place for that. I mean, it's not. Kim is asking, are you doing a meditation? Actually, I have tried. Well, not tried. I am doing that sort of, and I think it's healthy. It's been proven to be healthy. Just focusing on your breathing and so on. It's good for managing stress and so on. Yeah. Yes, they did find Trump guilty. Actually, my opinion on vegetarians. Okay, hold on. Oops, I need to pin the right one. Doe 5E, you did get a warning, and let's see, 24 hours timeout. Yeah, so you're gone for a while. Yeah, vegetarians, I will say that I have a lot of respect for people who choose to eat in such a way that people, not people, animals are not killed. Well, of course, when you harvest a field, animals are killed. But I have a lot of respect for that. I couldn't do that myself. But I'm not going to be one of these people who make fun of vegans. That's just childish, the way I see it. But I'm also going to say that you can be healthy even though you have a vegan diet. I know vegetarian is different, but when people claim that everyone needs to eat a vegan diet because it's healthier, well, that's plain wrong, and I actually know what I'm talking about. So, let's see. Let's see here. Yeah, Donna says, I'm a carnivore. It's the only thing that helped me solve a lot of my health issues. I'm off all diabetes meds now because of it. Yes, yes, I'm also a carnivore, but I do add carbs. I find that going 100% carnivore is for me. My body weight drops, and at the moment I want to gain body weight, so I just add carbs, you know. But I eat red meat like at least a pound every day. It should be more, I know, but it's crazy expensive in Norway now. Let's see here. Goodman, more about what you're mentioning before about being heathen. I believe that is what you called it, like a traditional Norwegian faith. Well, thank you. Yes, I can talk a little bit about that. Heathen is, most people say pagan, and I sometimes I say, well, I'm pagan, but I don't really like that, but because it's become, people connect, they see dirty hippies dancing around a campfire or something. And that's not what it's about. So heathen is, I believe, comes from a very old word You can find the same word in hede, which means the moors. Someone who is connected to the land and see the has a spiritual connection to the land. I don't believe that there is a one-eyed old man sitting up in a great golden hall waiting for me. That would be very cool, but it's more it's a system of symbols, and yeah, it's also a cultural thing. And yes, it is the traditional belief system in my part of the world. Christianity is relatively, historically speaking, a relatively new thing here. It's only been around for 1,000 years. Yeah, it seems like a long time, okay, but our history here goes back much, much, much longer than that, you know. And I'm literally every day walking around the grave mounds, Bronze Age grave mounds, and I'm much more connected to that than to some church, for instance. Not saying that I don't like churches, um, I find great joy in seeing churches. I was in England now recently, and I saw a beautiful, very old church. So I'm not being stupid about it. And also it's a personal thing. I will never try to push my beliefs onto other people. But if very interesting, I will try to answer. Wolf Order, yes, absolutely. Pagan has become, you're writing, Pagan has become affiliated with the Wiccan and witch movement. It seems a generic term. Yeah. Uh, Phenomeninia says, what do you think of Native Americans? I have a great fascination for the Native Americans, the different cultures, different nations. And I've tried to study it quite a bit, especially the East Coast. And yeah, it's in some way, I would say there are similarities, especially the East Coast nations, with the pre-Christian Norse cultures. Many similarities, I would say. Donna, yeah, digestion and all that. Exactly. Going carnivore. Same with me. I had the same problem. And with the carnivore diet, I don't have any problems. Absolutely. I'll just have to scroll down here. Cherokee Twilight says Christianity began in the 1st century. Bjorn. Well, isn't it funny how you use my name, but you're anonymous? Yeah, not the kind of Christianity you're seeing today, of course. But it didn't where I am, you know? Have you heard about the Germanic tribes? They sacked Rome, and they didn't like it very much when people came up here and told them how to live their lives. Eventually, towards the end of the Viking Age, it became a political thing, so can't deny history, said Cherokee Twilight. Okay. That's cute. So, yeah, a little bit though. I don't think you know my background at all, Cherokee Twilight. And you're not the only native here. I'm a native too, actually. I can trace my ancestry back hundreds of years, and I'm a native to this land. Abe says even Vikings must bow to the King of Kings. Seriously, guys? Are we there? Really? Do you have to do that? You know it makes you look infantile and stupid. And I mean, and Cherokee Twilight goes, those were Catholic, not Christians. Do you know the difference? Do you people have no original thought at all? Do you have to parrot and say the same things every single fucking time? God. Oh. You know, this is one of the reasons why I take time from doing live streams. And people say I should just ignore it. But, you know, okay. Do we have a moderator here? Okay, let's do it this way. If I see a single fucking comment like that again, I will kick you out. Okay? This is not the place for you. Okay? You don't know history. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't even know much about Christianity, apparently. Okay? So, try not let... Well, it gets to me. It does. Why shouldn't it? You know? Just being honest with you guys. I will always be honest with you guys. Let's see. Donna. Let's see. Donna, you're a moderator, and please just get rid of them. You know, put them in timeout. Wolf of Odin. Just have a go at them if you want. Okay, let us continue. The Trump thing is interesting because I think it's not really that much about Trump. It's about the fact that he was a, what's the word, spanner that was thrown into the machinery of corruption. And these people are a little bit in a hurry now. They have an agenda, and they've actually called it Agenda 2030. And Trump cannot be there if they're going to reach their goals, you know? And it could have been someone else. But they're kind of lucky that it's Trump because he is now Trump is very charismatic. People who don't like him, they say, well, he's not charismatic. But he is. I don't like Trump, but I will admit that he is charismatic. He can entertain a crowd. And also, he is probably very intelligent. And I know all the academics, well, I'm an academic, you know, but they hate hearing that. But if you look at what he has done, well, he's old now, and as we age, our intelligence actually decreases somewhat. So he was probably smarter before. But someone who has done what he has done, yeah, well, you need to have a certain intelligence for that. And again, people don't like the fact that Trump is probably more intelligent than the average. And people like to say, oh, he's stupid. No, he's not stupid. You just don't like him. Those are two different things. And when you put someone like Trump there, someone who will not let the system or the establishment go on with their plans, because he has his own agenda. And I think his agenda is America first. And that becomes a problem. So they must stop him. Well, Rick, I respect that you're saying that he isn't high IQ, but people who are managing several businesses and entrepreneurs, they tend to have a higher IQ than the average. So it's like, and also, well, we can look at people with a high IQ. They are not necessarily good people. Those things are two different things. So no, he's not stupid, and he knows exactly which words to use and how to talk to a crowd. That also takes quite a lot of intelligence. Yeah, Eugene, I would absolutely say that he's not an intellectual. Absolutely not. You can hear when he's talking that he's not an intellectual. He's not a well-read man. He's not a well-educated man. So, but it could have been anyone with the ability to attract a crowd, to get a following, and who will not let the system, the establishment, win. They can't have that now. And I think that for anyone who do not support Agenda 2030, and I certainly do not, it's important that this next election in the USA is extremely important. Extremely important. So, yeah, I worry a little bit, actually. I think that they will get the Biden family, the Biden, not the Biden family, but Biden, and in there for another 4 years. I worry about that. Yeah. So, yeah. Ted Logan. His whole career, he's worked with iron workers and construction grants, so he speaks plainly, intentionally. Yeah, I'm a novelist. I work with language every day, and I can tell that when Trump is speaking, he is 90% of the time working the crowd. He knows exactly what to say. But then, and I don't know really why, I think maybe he gets into he gets too eager, or something happens there, and he says the wrong things and stupid things. And maybe it's an age thing. Maybe it's, when he gets feedback from the crowd, and then he feels like he needs to top what it, or say something even funnier, or even more, something that will get him an even better response from the crowd, or something. Yeah. So, an eclectic mind says something extremely important here. I really wish people would realize the presidency isn't a popularity contest. Yeah, exactly. It's about policies. I would rather have a proper bastard as president, if he was representing policies I somewhat agree with, than having someone I really like as president who represent policies I don't like, if that made sense. Let's see. Yeah. Well, yeah, I need to add, of course, that I may, and I take criticism on this point here, I may come across as someone with too strong, my opinions may be too strong because I'm not even an American. I live in Norway. So I will ask you to just, forgive me for that. But I am opinionated on this because America American policies affect the country too. You know, American foreign policies and their policies concerning what's it called in English? Well, the monetary thing. Not only the economy, but also yeah, things with money. It affects the world economy. So, yeah. Okay. I think I will end the live stream here. And yeah, okay. Sorry about, well, I shouldn't be sorry, but I am sorry that we had some people coming here with the Christian thing. No, it's not really a Christian thing. You can be a Christian. I have no problem with that, of course, but condescending worldview thing. Let's just call it that. I know many of you guys are Christians. That's fine. I have no problem with that. But I think if you have been following this channel for some time, you know how it can get in the chat, and we don't want that. So, okay. Well, I have to go now. I am hungry. I need my breakfast. Okay. So, thank you for joining. Thank you for sharing your opinions, and I'll see you soon.